Hey guys, it's Lord here, back with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Mythic Legion's Ninian Infantry, brought to us by the fine folks over at Horsemen Studios, as well as my good buddy Patrick Boyle from Ye Old Mythic Legions Cabal. Click the link in the description below and give him a follow on Ye Old Instagram to see all of his awesome custom work. He does a lot of custom work. He does a lot for Wolf King Customs, and sometimes he even helps the Horsemen out. He's one of the guys that will help sell their stuff at shows they can't quite get to. So with that being said, it has been a long time coming to get this review out, and now that it is here, I can finally do my top 10 Mythic Legions figures of a 2020 fella, because this guy definitely is in there. I'm not gonna lie, he's pretty freaking sweet, but I do have a couple issues with mine. We'll get to that. But why don't we kick things off and cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all he has to offer in terms of accessories, starting off with a shit ton of hands. He's got a pair of fists. He's got a pair of grip hands with the wrong hinge for holding stuff. I don't know why they include these, but fine. To each their own, I suppose. Got a pair of trigger fingers, in case you want your Ninian to be packing. Got another pair of trigger fingers, this time with the wrong hinge for holding stuff. Those I really don't know why you'd want. Then we got some claw hands. As well as an alternate closed mouth head. I don't know why you'd use this when you got that one. I really don't, but once again, to each their own. And then for weaponry, we got the Brother Mandibulus Club, funny enough, which does pop apart there. I will say, this is relatively loose in his hand. Like, it's not very tight, so I might need to heat up the hand and pinch it closed a bit. Get him to grip that. You also have a spear, because what Mythic Legions figure would be complete without one, right? Things like herpes. And then we got this really cool looking shield with this chameleon or gecko design on it. Very Mesoamerican, which makes sense for these guys. It does have the handle on the back, and this is actually a pretty tight handle, so be mindful of that. But this shield, we've seen it before, it's just we've not seen it with that tampo on it. And that's your lot for accessories, other than the necklace, the shoulder pads, and the tail, if you want to count that as an accessory. I mean, you don't have to use it, but what the hell's the point of having a snake man if you're not going to use a freaking tail? But yeah, this guy is pretty cool looking. He uses a lot of the Oleg Thygar parts from the waist up, like the arms. The hands are not Oleg Thygar, neither are the feet, but the torso, the arms, and, well, the torso and the arms. I don't even think the crotch is Oleg Thygar, but either way, he does have the wired tail that will rotate here. It just plugs into his butthole. And then he's got the bendy wire, so you can bend it all around. It's not the bendiest thing ever. I think the bendiest thing they've ever done is the Trapiculi tail, which is crazy to think because it's got all the sculpt, but it just feels like it moves a little better than this. This will move, but it's pretty stiff. But as far as the rest of his articulation goes, his head will look up and down. It'll tilt side to side, it'll rotate, and thankfully the peg is a hard plastic peg in a soft plastic body. That's 99 times out of 100 what you want. These fangs are also pretty sharp in the front, so I don't think you gotta worry about them warping. The pauldrons, of course, will move up and down. His shoulders will pop up, back down, move back and forth. His elbows will bend and swivel. He's got a gauntlet twist, which on this side just pops off when I gotta hinge the arm. So I'm gonna need to fix that because I tried heat warping this thing. It did not get any better, really. It's okay. but it's just like, it don't stay on the arm, dude. It's whack. I've never had that happen before. I've had loose gauntlets, but they stay on the arm, and I usually heat them up, and that fixes it. He does have the correct hint for holding weapons on the hands he comes packaged with, thankfully. So that's a plus. He does also have a ball-jointed waist that can lean that far back, that far forward. You can tilt side to side and rotate. That's nice and tight. Hips will kick out to the side if the tail's not in the way. Out to the side, back down, forward and back. He's got a thigh cut, single jointed knee, and a swivel below the knee. He's got a ball hinge ankle that will rotate, hinge, and pivot. And on this side, this foot is a little weak on mine. I even tried flipping it around, and that really didn't do much either. So his ankle is a little weak. So we will have to get that fixed, as well as this knee. This knee is pretty weak too. Compared to this side's pretty solid. Like, it's not terrible. If it was more like that, I'd be okay with it. But yeah, this obviously was probably well, I can't even say that, because that Outpost Zaxius wave was just wretched with QC issues. But this guy clearly was not in production with the Necronominus wave, I don't think, because that wave just, the quality seemed better on it, and this guy, it just doesn't seem to have that. So that kind of sucks, but maybe that's just dumb luck. Maybe I just got stupid lucky with Necronominus and didn't have loose joint problems. I'd love to not have them ever. I think in the calendar year 2025, loose joints should be a thing of the past. And all you guys who are fapping over pinless joints, here's the deal. Those pins you hate so much, from an aesthetic standpoint, they keep your joints tighter for a longer period of time. And also, if you get something that's messed up, it's easier to heat swap it. So there's that too. So all you pinless elitists, well, thanks for all the QC issues I didn't have before. Really appreciate that. So with that being said, it's time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here's our Ninian Infantry, alongside a couple other Mythic Legions figures. We have Maxilius the Harvester, stripped down with his alt head on the left, and the Valiant Knight, rocking the Sir Elijah Softgoods, as well as the cape from Sir Enoch, and the alternate head from the Mythic Walter the Mad Figure. Why am I showing you these? Well, much like the Ninian, the Valiant Knight was a surprise drop at Legions Con 2023 to be exact. Ninian Enforcer, or Infantry, excuse me, was 2024. And then the reason I have Maxilius here is because the Skeleton Legion Builder 2 was not only a surprise drop on Horsemen.com, or StoreHorsemen.com, it was also a surprise drop at IshCon last year. So all three of these were first available at a con. All three of these are relatively recent releases. The Valiant Knight being the oldest, because, well, you can pretty much get a Valiant Knight from the Necronominus wave. That's leagues better, might I add, because you get more stuff with them. And then, well, Maxilius the Harvester, once again from the Necro wave. You can get him quite regularly as well. Ninian, unfortunately, I don't know what you can actually do to get a hold of these parts, but there is a retailer exclusive snake guy who's a little bit more deluxe. I ordered one of those, so I'll gladly put him with this guy. So getting these two out of here. I also wanted to show Maxilius stripped down and the Valiant Knight custom I've been working on, so that's another reason I brought them in. Shout out to my buddy Patrick for actually hooking up this extra Maxilius, so I didn't have to mess with mine. That said, let's bring in our two regulars, Brother Mandibulith and the infamous Okay, 11 spawn. Who is about the same height as our Ninian infantry here. So with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and despite the fact that my particular figure does have a few quality control issues, not caused by me. I know there are some people here on YouTube that will literally F their figures up on camera, then claim that they have QC issues, when in reality, they're just dumbasses. But I'm going to say that this is easily one of the cooler Mythic Legions to come out in the calendar year 2024. That's not for those of you watching this in the future. That's actually when this thing came out. It just took me this long to get a hold of one. And I have no problem waiting, because here's the deal. I didn't have to pay shipping on this. Because I'm cheap like that. So for the price I paid, I would still say it's worth it, but I am going to have to hit up for Horsemen about the gauntlet, the knee, and the foot on my particular figure, because, well, ain't nothing I can do about that other than straight up get new parts. So thankfully, these are modular. Take them apart, get that shit fixed, man. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.